Yo, what is going on, guys? What is going on? Today is Friday, and you know what that means. Today is Kevin Samuels Day, so let's get right into it, boys.
What do you think about the concept of having to share a man after you're over 35?
We already know what she thinks.
Um, it seems like it's more common nowadays. Like girls are just okay with it. But from my own perspective, if I was 35 right now, I probably wouldn't want to share a man. And
And we're all looking at her. She's not the most, you know what I mean, the most beautiful person on the planet talking like this. That's kind of crazy, right?
that's just the line.
Okay, you have any kids?
I do.
Yeah, so you're talking like that and you have kids. So I don't think this woman realizes that most men, once they realize you have kids, we kind of consider you recreational. But let's see what she has to say.
How many kids?
I have one.
One too many out of wedlock. You don't want to be doing that.
How old?
He's 5.
Oh, no, 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 no. Wow, so you got a 5-year-old kid. You really think a man really wants to come into that, man? And you have this kind of attitude? Let's keep going.
If you were over 35 with a 5-year-old, now you're 10 years old, and you wouldn't want to share a man, why should a man have to share his money with your kid?
That's fair. To say why would he have to share it? But if he wants me, then he would have to.
No, we don't.
Hey, what? What is she talking about? This is a straight up no.
See, I'm not trying to be rude, but see, I think it's funny, especially single mothers. Y'all vastly overestimate. Your sexual marketplace value is lower than it was when you started. All single mothers. So let's take this out of personal. Let's say you went to a store and something cost $300, and you only got $200 in your pocket. Would you walk in the store and try to buy that?
We know the answer to that.
No, that's
All right,
crazy,
but that's
right?
what y'all try to do in the marketplace. You're trying to get men who are like $500, and you got $250 worth of buying power. The older you get, do you think your sexual marketplace buying power increases or decreases?
Obviously, it decreases.
All right, so that
Wow,
means
I was actually expecting her to say the opposite. I'm surprised, actually. Let's keep going. She's still delusional, though.
you're going to have to be able to get less, right?
For majority of women, yes.
No, for all women. What makes you special?
It's not me necessarily, but there are women that's 35 years old who
No,
can.
but see what does that do? What does that
See,
have?
like, why do some women do this? They use the extreme to make an argument. There are some women that do this. You know how hard you gotta search to find that to happen? Like, do you really wanna do your life based on an outlier? Do you really wanna plan your life based on a handful of people, what they're doing? Or do you wanna do your life based on what is proven to work?
To do with you though.
Exactly. Those people have nothing to do with you. Like, just because you see some 35-year-old woman make it work out with a kid doesn't mean that's gonna work for you. She's not you. You're not her.
To be right.
Well, if I want to talk about me, I feel like if I was 35 years old with a 10-year-old and I carry the way that I carry myself now, I don't think I would depreciate at all.
Oh my god. This is completely. Oh my. And do not deal with people that think like that. Oh, I'm so special. I'm never gonna age. Oh, God's gonna take care of me. I will always be perfect. It's always the men's fault.
Oh, so you'd be the first female in history who wouldn't depreciate as she got older? How's that happen?
for me is because when you don't understand, like, having a kid young and doing all those things, and you start learning that stuff, basically growing, it's possible for you to still obtain a six-figure man that's making $75,000 a year, and who can afford that lifestyle for you.
Okay, a six-figure man is making 100 and some odd thousand, not 75.
100. I'm
This,
sorry.
all right, so she's delusional.
but
So she thinks like at 35 years old with a 5-year-old kid that she's still gonna get a man that makes $100,000, as if a man making that kind of money is looking for that. See, that's the problem. These women don't know who we are. They don't know what we want. They don't know what we look for. They don't care. It's all about their mating strategy, and that is it. They don't give a crap about what a man is looking for or wants. They just think what they think is right. But it couldn't be further from the truth. And that's a super...
older, what product on the market gains value with age and use?
The answer is nothing.
Wine.
Not with
she
use.
just said wine. Who the hell is gonna pay more for used wine? Like, she's not even thinking. Like, this is what I mean. Some black women just have this need to be right over everything else. Like, why do you need to be right so bad? You're not even thinking about the question. You're just trying to answer to be right. That's completely childish, absurd, and it gets us nowhere. This is why we have so many problems.
Well, liquor.
She just said, what do you think wine is? I mean, why is it that black women just love cheap wine and raw, hard, you know what? Like, that's all they think about is cheap ass liquor and raw, you know what, on the weekends. They can't think past freaking Friday. Like, what is going on here?
Anything that's how I feel. For me, like I said.
So that's how you feel.
Okay, hold on.
So she says, that's how I feel. Not even that's how I think. She said, that's how I feel, as if how she feels has any bearing on the truth or reality. Be careful of women like this that go on how they feel all the time. This is going to be a straight up problem for you. Promise.
I'm not trying to be rude, but see, I think it's funny, especially single mothers. Y'all vastly overestimate. Your sexual marketplace value is lower than it was when you started. All single mothers. So let's take this out of personal. Let's say you went to a store and something cost $300. And you only got $200 in your pocket. Would you walk in the store and try to buy that?
No. That's
All right,
crazy.
See, she's logical when it comes to that. But when it comes to the relational stuff, she has no idea what she's talking about.
That's what y'all trying to do in the marketplace. You trying to get men who are like $500 and you got $250 worth of buying power.
Yeah, and when you say it like that, they understand. But that's really what they're doing. And that goes back to what I said before. They don't care about what the man wants or what we're looking for. A man that made that kind of money, first of all, he's most likely going to be over 40 years old. Second of all, he's looking for something else. He's not looking to take care of another man's child. They don't look at it in that way. They just look at it as, oh, this is my child, they should take care of him. Like, no, we don't want to take care of another man's offspring at all. And the men that do that, they get ridiculed. They get shamed. It's a thankless job being a stepfather. I wouldn't advise anyone to be a stepfather. It's a thankless job. You gain nothing at all. You lose in the end. If she takes that baby and dumps you, guess what? You get an attachment to those children, and you can't say anything when she takes them. They're not your kids. You don't want to be doing that. And let's not even go over the financial aspect of it. It is so expensive taking care of kids.
The older you get, do you think your sexual marketplace buying power increases or decreases?
We already know.
Obviously, it decreases.
She just said obviously it decreases, but earlier, like 2 seconds ago, she said, for me, I don't think it decreases. But now she says obviously. Which one is it?
All right, so that means you're going to have to be able to get less, right?
She belongs to the streets.
For majority of women, yes.
No, for all women.
Oh
What
my
makes you
God.
special?
She said, See, and that's the problem. Everyone thinks they're special. You're not special. You're a 35-year-old black woman with your single mother and you're a black woman. That is very common. That is not special at all. You're not unique. You're literally 80% of the population. Like you are literally the population. You're the populace. You are the main populace. So there's nothing unique about you. If anything, if you're a 25 or 35-year-old childless woman, if anything, that would be more unique. But you having a child out of wedlock, that is not unique at all. Like what?
It's not me necessarily, but
Actually, being married nowadays is almost a unique thing. That's for the elite nowadays.
there are women that's 35 years old who
No,
can
but see that.
See, there are women that are 35 years old. Yeah, there are millionaires here and there. Like, come on. Like, stop picking out outliers and thinking it's going to be you. This is what's killing our community. We all think we're special. We're just human. We're just like anyone else. We bleed the same. We cry the same. We eat the same. We put on clothes the same. We do everything the same in that aspect.
What does that do? What does that have to do with you, though?
Nothing.
That's that wanting
at
to
all.
be right.
Exactly.
Well,
That's what I said before. She just wants to be right now at this point. And she has nothing to do with being alone, has nothing to do with finding a man. It has to do with just winning the argument. But she is clearly losing.
To talk about me, I feel like if I was 35 years old with a 10-year-old and I carried the way that I carry myself now, I don't think I would depreciate at all.
Oh, so you'd be the first female in history who wouldn't.
Right.
She wouldn't.
So you think that, you wouldn't depreciate at all. So mother, father time doesn't come after you. It just skips you. Hits everyone else, but it skips you. And you get to just stay like that forever, right? Oh, okay.
Appreciate it. She got older. How's that happen?
For me, it's because when you
For me.
don't understand, like,
Everything is for me. How about you just say what the answer is? It's not for you. That would imply that you're better than everyone else, but that is not the case.
having a kid young and doing all those things, and you start learning that stuff, basically growing, it's possible for you to still obtain a six-figure man that's making 75.
Yeah, it's possible I can walk out and get hit by a bus. It's possible I can go get a lottery ticket and be a billionaire tomorrow, but is it probable? Like, I think a lot of these black women need to go back to school and learn what possible really means and what probable really means. Because possible means it's not going to happen. And if it does happen, you literally touch the hand of God. And probable means it's going to happen, most likely. And people just need to understand the two. And, like, she needs to understand, like, men that are making that money aren't looking for women like you. And it's because you're 35, yes, because you have the kid, but it's the mindset, it's the entitlement, it's everything that comes with this, you know what I mean? And it seems to be, like, on everyone that acts like this. Like, there's a lot of women that act this way. Like, it's like she's a microcosm of what we are dealing with.
5,000 a year, and who can afford that lifestyle for
Okay,
you?
6 figure.
You should have thought of that before you had that kid with some bum ass dude that can't even pay for him. Like, it just makes no sense.
Man is making 100 and some odd thousand, not 75.
100. I'm sorry.
No, but I'm just okay. But older. What product on the market gains value with age and use?
Nothing.
Wine.
Not with use.
Wait, did this?
Well, liquor.
Wait, she said
Anything
that
that's how I feel. For me, like I said, for me personally,
Okay,
already.
hold
I
on.
think I went back a little.
Black people used to think feelings and facts are different. And I'm gonna just tell you, I get tired of hearing black women, in particular, because you're our women. I don't care about us other women as much as I care about black women. I get tired of hearing black women feel like because they don't feel like or they don't like something that they can dismiss the truth of it. If a non-black woman were to say that, but you're mine, I gotta care that you don't understand that you can't just dismiss it because you don't like the way it sounds.
And that's what a lot of black women do. When they start asking what do men want or questions about things they don't know, and then you give them the answer and they tend to not like it, that's what you get from them. You get this disdain, this pushback, instead of just learning, listening to understand, and then trying to adapt. They want you to adapt to their fucked up way of thinking. Like, and it's not gonna happen. It just is not gonna happen at all.
Understand that? We got far too many women who think like you, move like you, because the way you feel.
I literally just said that, but yeah, it's so true though. And a lot of black guys think like this, you know? Well, the ones that are educated and want more for themselves. I'm not talking about the Pookie and Ray Rays and, you know, the guys that are happy staying at the bottom. I'm talking about the guys that are trying to do something. Those are the guys I'm talking about.
You can just dismiss it. Well, then, what man who shares your reflection feels the same way, that your value goes up as you get older?
No one.
What men on the planet think that way?
She belongs to the streets.
They probably don't think that way. I'm not
So then
fans.
why? So then why would you think that it does happen? Like now he's asking you the question and having you like think, throwing it in your face, and you're realizing this isn't realistic. So why are you saying the things you're saying?
So I don't know how
Then
men
if men
think.
don't
Yeah, and
think,
that's the problem. And I just said that you don't know how we think. He's trying to tell you, and you will not listen. You're just reflecting, rejecting, repelling, everything but taking it in and adapting. And that's the thing, though. If women just listen and adapt, they'll get coupled, but they don't want to listen at all. They just want to sit around.
that way, how are you going to force a man to accept it?
You ain't.
I'm not gonna force him to accept
Exactly, because it won't work. So, ma'am, your value goes down whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Whether you think that you'll be more valuable 5 years from now with a 10-year-old, you're still a single mother.
Yeah.
And and what
it.
does that
So
mean?
hypothetically,
That means it's not his child. That's all that means. It's not his child. Your child is a liability to another man, not an asset.
And that is so true. Like, say she gets with a man that has another child. Like, say that does happen, and they get together, and this man has to provide for his child and that other child. So basically, whatever he's giving his child, he has to split in half and give to that other child. So it's always going to be a liability. But they don't look at it that way, though, because it's their child. They think their child is above all everything else, but not to the men.
okay, so go back to me. I'm okay with letting.
She always goes back to herself, but like the world doesn't revolve around you. Going back to yourself has you back in this spot of delusion and fantasy and not in reality. Like, this is the problem.
the dad have the child for me to start over.
What? You know how crazy that sounds?
I am okay with that. He
Yeah,
can
but he's not gonna be okay with that.
live with his father and his father's wife, and they can be a happy family, and I'll get them on the weekends and holidays. That's
And what makes you think that man wants to deal with that? Like, there's not many men that want to deal with that at all.
fine with me. So that another man don't have to raise his child.
He would have to in some capacity. And what kind of a mother would that make you look out to be for that man anyway? Like, that's a lose-lose situation.
I would never put my child off on another man.
Okay, but
He has a
So, wait, oh,
the father in his life.
listen. While that is something that most women would not do, the fact that you still had a child means your womb has been used.
Yeah.
You have risked your life to clone another person. That
and that's what they don't understand. Men look at that. They're like, oh, you gave your womb up. It's not just because you have a child. It's everything that comes with it.
matters to us as men. So it still lowers your value. I'm still trying to understand why you think your value won't go down,
Nope.
and you haven't made a compelling case.
Yeah.
Again, I've always been fit, but I wasn't friendly, I wasn't cooperative, I wasn't all those things that you say a woman should be, what a man looks for. And so for me,
So then, if you are none of those things that we're looking for, why the hell do you think that you would get picked? Why do you get to get picked when you're none of those things that we're looking for, but there are other women out there that are those things? Why should we pick you over those women who are ready for us? You're not ready. You haven't healed. You haven't done anything. You don't know the first thing that a man wants. So why should we skip over the line of all these women that are ready made and you're just out here? Why? Like, I just want to know why. Like, there's no.
She belongs to the streets.
When I get older, as I get older, I am becoming more fit, friendly, compromised, and understanding.
Okay, nah. Like, if anything, you're getting more stuck in your ways the older you get. You should have been that stuff when you were younger. Like, come on now. It sounds like she's just listing off things that he says that men want, but she is none of those things. She's just trying to convince herself, because she's not convincing us at all. Like, does anyone see any type of femininity out of her? Like, there's nothing but masculine energy coming from this lady at all. It's all it is. It's masculine energy.
And being that piece that a man is looking for.
Right,
So
but
that's
what you're
Like, look, her.
doing though, ma'am, is you're evaluating the market by comparing yourself today to yourself yesterday.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you lose. You lose, especially as a woman, because you're not going to look or feel the same as you did when you were 22 and 32 and 42. It's just not going to happen. That's like, men and women age differently. Like, that's what a lot of women don't understand. They don't understand their biology at all.
Okay, you're comparing yourself to I'm better than I was, right?
right.
But the market is much
She
bigger.
thinks that, but like, you're really not. Maybe you might think mentally you are, which I would argue, but physically, emotionally, all that, you're broken. You know, you may not see it, but you are. And a lot of guys just don't want to deal with that. You haven't healed. You haven't learned anything.
Bigger than you, man. The market is thousands and thousands of women who don't have, who some were worse than you, some who are far better.
Yeah.
A man gets to pick one.
Yeah.
And if you had the choice to pick one, you're going to get the best you can, not the one that was better than she was. You're going to get the best.
Yeah.
That's not
Well, you
funny.
talk
That's,
about-
that's the truth. A man that's making that kind of money, he is going to look for the best. And that is just what it is.
This generation, shoot, I'm damn near the best.
She just said in this generation she's damn near the best. And she can't even say that with a straight face. I'm gonna help her out with this.
Nope.
And I give her a little,
Oh, hell no.
because she,
She belongs to the streets.
like, that makes no sense.
With a kid.
No, you're not.
Like, at
I
all.
talk to women every day,
Right.
man. I
You're
mean,
not even close.
I think that's arrogant.
Right. How could you say that? Like, that would imply that you know over 4 billion women and what they're doing in their lives. And we know you don't. You're so caught up and self-absorbed in your crap that you can't look outside of your nose. So come on now. And if that were the case, don't you think you'd be swept up already?
For you to say, because where do you live?
Well, right now I'm in Australia.
Okay, due respect, ma'am, I talk to women worldwide.
Oh,
Realize your attitude is not even right, man.
Right. And I said that earlier. Her attitude is off. There's something off about her. Like, she just hasn't healed. She's masculine. There's just a lot going on to unpack.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, this is the arrogance of the modern female. Y'all feel like y'all can just do whatever and say whatever, and it's always gonna be.
Right.
But if with all that, why didn't the man you made a baby with put a ring on your finger?
Exactly what I just said. If you were so great, like, men, we realize when there's a great woman, we realize it. Like, it doesn't take long to notice it, and that gets swept up right away. So that makes no sense. Usually when you have a baby with a man, usually, not all the time, but usually, if you're doing it out of wedlock, there's something off about either you or the guy. But there ain't nothing perfect about you at all.
That was his decision not to.
Well, then why would you make a decision to have his baby?
Right.
See?
Makes
That's
no
what
sense.
Again,
Like, and then I bet you she's gonna try to put it back on him. But the only problem is men have no reproductive rights. So once you guys have sex, it's up to you to make the decision, because you took the responsibility of sex. You know what I mean? So it comes with a lot of responsibility. So that's the thing. Once that happens, you have to make a decision. You got to use protection, or you have the other decision to make. You keep it, or you do the latter. Which, I mean, I'm not really for.
the thing that I had to learn
No, you didn't
Those
have
are
to.
What?
I wasn't taught,
Ma'am, you live in the West. In the West, it is well known that you should get married before you have a baby. That's not new news. You chose to make. Y'all chose to have sex. But women pay a higher price in sex than men because you risk pregnancy.
You get pregnant for 9 months, whereas a man, we don't. A man can literally get a woman pregnant every day, literally every day and every month, and be fine. But a woman can't do that. Can only choose one guy to have a baby with, and it takes almost a year to go through that. So,
And you can't undo that. And you
all.
can't act like it didn't happen. And you can't act like that it doesn't matter. It matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
And if he chose not to marry you, what kind of signal does that send to the next man? Because you gave the man.
That's what I was saying before. If you're so great, why aren't you swept up? And that's what I said. That's what men think about, especially when you got a kid.
You gave a man the highest gift you can give any man, and you didn't require marriage.
Mm.
So why? So this is why I tell women you don't typically get higher than your baby daddy, because that's where you set your price.
Exactly. So, for instance, if your baby daddy is a Home Depot worker and you try to date some guy that's making big bucks, he's gonna ask you. The first thing this man's gonna ask you, he's gonna be like, "So, who's your baby daddy? What did he do?" And then if you say that, "Oh, he worked at Home Depot. He's a bum," that guy ain't taking you seriously. At that point, he's gonna know, "Oh, okay, so you're low class and you accept anything." So like that stuff matters.
Your baby daddy is your price.
Right.
And it
A lot
only
of
goes.
women don't realize that. The men in your past, that might set the bar for you. So it's very important you choose the right person,
Down.
especially when it comes to having a baby.
Six figures, and if we wanted to get married, we could, but we would have to take our time over it.
Your baby daddy making six figures that's fine, man, but it matters about character and all those other things too. He didn't marry you, right? You didn't want to marry you.
Again, I didn't understand that I should have prioritized marriage.
I
I
get it.
understand that.
I
You
get it.
didn't know that you were supposed to prioritize. Look at that. Just no responsibility. Just ducking responsibility any chance you can get. So you didn't know that you were supposed to get married. Is that what we're really saying? You just thought, oh, I'm just supposed to have a baby with no protection and no help at all. I didn't know this. They didn't beat this in our head in every level of school. Nope.
I get it. And what I'm saying is to women, I'm talking to you and I'm also talking through you. This is why it would be so much better for most of you ladies to just go finish the families you started. Because whatever you're saying, man, matters to you and that child's father. To the random man in the sexual marketplace, it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. To a random man in the street, in the marketplace, it doesn't matter a goddamn thing. I'll put her interview back up, but they can hear it on Instagram. It doesn't matter. You're coming to a man and saying, "Hey, Roger, I'm better today than I was." And Roger's like, "Shit, I just met you today. All I'm judging on is today."
Right. That's what I'm saying. You come in with that. She's smiling right now. Look at that, because she knows he's right. If you come in with that, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, okay, stop."
But then he's gonna say, "Well, let me look at your history, just like
Right.
any other employer." Okay,
And that's what they don't realize. Being a wife is an employer. It's a job. It's not a title. It's a job. I repeat, a wife is not a title. It's a job. And the women that understand that stay married, and the women that don't get divorced
you had a job
or don't
that you was
get married
fired
at all.
from. Now that job cost you your future. It cost you this, but you got fired from it, or you didn't get promoted at that job. Why'd you give all this stuff to that job and they didn't promote you? Then you come into and you want me to come over. You want me to pay you more? No.
Hell no.
We're gonna pay you what you got paid back there.
And that's what they don't understand. They don't understand that men are pragmatic. We're calculators. You know what I mean? That's how we evaluate things. We think in our heads, I'm a millionaire. She only dated clowns. I can't date her for real. Like that would drop the man's value. And his colleagues and his friends would look at him weird. Like, what are you doing, guy? Your woman is a representation of yourself and vice versa, but mostly her.
Because you did it over there, you did that job over there for less money and you worked harder. You ain't gonna come to me 10 years later asking for more money. You're gonna get less money. Because you've already set the market. And that's the point I'm trying to get ladies to understand. Your child's father sets the market for you.
She belongs to the streets.
And unfortunately, you don't get to move that number around just because because you're better than you were.
Nope.
That's what I see the danger with Sierra's prayer and all that stuff, because it makes women think.
And that Sierra's prayer was probably a scheduled on-time thing for her to do, because we already know she's connected with the whole conspiracy and the whole Hollywood madness. So we know that she was basically sped out to do that, to set back black people back a little bit, black women in particular. That little speech literally set black women back so much, because they all actually believe the Sierra prayer stuff. They actually believe this stuff is real. Like no man is gonna be manifested to you. You have to work. You gotta do work. You gotta work. You gotta work. You gotta work. If you don't work on yourself, you're just gonna die alone. Like if you do not work on yourself, you are going to.
That's why you will die alone.
And that's just what it is.
Think that, well, I can do better. No, that's not how that typically happens.
Ever.
And how we got here, folks, is the whole notion of sharing a man. And I guess why I'm having this conversation is to
And the
let
thing
ladies
is,
understand.
it's been like that since the beginning of time. And the women before, they knew that. They were hip to it. They knew. Like nowadays, there's almost, just in the black community, there are almost 5 million more black men than black women. So I don't know how they figure that they wouldn't be sharing. Like you're gonna have to share. Like whether you're in a relationship or you're friends with benefits, you're gonna have to share your men, because there just ain't enough around. There just isn't at all. It's not even close. But no one looks at the numbers. No one studies this stuff. No one cares. We just walk around in this Disney fairy tale, everyone thinking that some prince is gonna sweep them off their feet, acting like an alpha with beta traits, who's gonna accept you for your past and be this nice guy. That's not who men are. That's not who we are. They're all waiting for this romantic, comedic fantasy that's never going to happen. That's just not life. That's not how men move. That's not how life moves. And the sooner that people understand that, the better we will be.
Understand that the more stuff you have on your resume, the more you're gonna have to share. The more shit you're gonna have to potentially put up
And
with.
that's the thing. A lot of these single moms are so entitled. They think that they're so special, but like, no, there aren't enough men. The men that you want have a list of women that want them. So why would they? They're not gonna choose you and be monogamous to you. Like, why would they? Like, they're not going to do that. They have these 21-year-olds, hot as hell, tight as hell, all over them. Why would they choose you and all these problems? They wouldn't. Not as a main woman, they wouldn't. You would be a side, if anything, because that's what you allowed yourself to be. And guys notice that. We see that, and so we act accordingly. You have a baby at a wedlock, that proves to us that you were just not compatible for marriage. You know what I mean? Like you chose to have this kid without a father. That shows you have terrible judgment.
And a lot of women don't like that. So let me go ahead and unmute you. Do you have anything else you want to say, ma'am? I don't want you to go ahead and say, because you're 30 right now, right?
No, I'm 27. You're talking to me, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm 27, but I guess my
Damn, she's 27 talking like that, man. That's crazy, bro. Like, that is crazy.
problem is not necessarily the
Thought
type
she
of
was
man
older.
to get. It's about getting the man to commit, because
You just had a baby with a man and he didn't commit to you. It's going to be very hard to find a man to commit to you. If you couldn't get your baby daddy to commit, another man's going to look at that like, what is wrong with her? What is so bad about her that he couldn't stay with her? Those are the questions that men ask.
I have several guys who make good money. They have their
Several? So that several means seven. So you have seven guys who make money and what?
own. They don't have children. They never been married.
Uh-huh.
That really would love to be with me, but it's
Seven. So you have seven guys like this? Seven. Because she did say several.
about the commitment. How do I get that man to say,
See,
okay,
they don't want you like that. See, if they wanted you like you said they did, you wouldn't be asking them for this advice. They would already have gotten you. But we know she's lying. There aren't seven guys vetting her for marriage right now. Like, come on, guys. Like, women just come out here lying.
this is who I want? Because I'm honestly scared to just go out there and just be like, give him all of me because I know I have a kid.
Okay.
And that's the problem. Women are doing this stuff with fear, scarcity, and lack, which causes anxiety and strife and stress. So, in other words, no relationship is going to work with a woman that comes in with this kind of mentality. Do not, I repeat, do not date women who come in to things with fear, scarcity, and lack. Do not. Your life will be miserable.
I'm confused. You said, how do you get a man to commit to you?
Yeah, well, because for me, I have several guys who
She
they
said
make
several.
good money, they have their own, but
Yeah, okay. You're right.
how do you choose? Which one do you
You
choose?
don't choose. The man chooses. Men choose who get married. You choose who has sex and who gets born. Men choose who gets committed to and who gets relationships and marriage. So if men haven't done that, that means they don't deem you worthy of such. So that means you have some work to do.
Do you date all of them at the same time?
Which one is
She
proposed
said date
marriage?
them all at the same time. Well, if you have, wouldn't you already be doing that already? Because you said there are seven of them and you're talking to all of them. So that means you're doing that already. So why would you be asking if you should do that if you already are doing that? So that's how you know she's lying. Like, come on.
They haven't. None of them proposed because
None of them
What do you-
proposed. So what does that tell you? If this is even true,
Choose it from.
which one do you give your time to see if that's the person?
you don't. It's not up to you. That's the thing. Like, she's being the man in this, and she just doesn't see it.
Well, okay, you're confusing me because you're saying you have men.
Okay, who can you give you an example?
You're saying you have men, hold on. You're saying you have men, and you keep saying their money. So I guess they're a certain caliber. But you're saying they want you. But what if they proposed?
They don't want you
As
like
far
you
as
say.
marriage, they haven't proposed
Then
because
how do you
So
know
then they don't want you like you say they do. That's the point.
They want you.
they communicate with me. They want to take me out on dates. They want to get.
That's what men do because men want to have sex. That's what men do. Like, just because a man takes you out on a date or has sex with you or says some shit to you, it means nothing unless an action happens, and it means nothing.
To know me,
And that's
but
the link. That's the link. Okay, you ladies often read stuff into men. If a man wants you, he's gonna tell you what he wants you for. You make room for the fact that they only want you for this to date and have fun.
no, they all would love to.
That's what they want you for. She just doesn't know it. She doesn't see it, but they're just telling her what she wants to hear, and they're just using her for fun, and she just doesn't see it. Look at her face right now, because she can't picture that could possibly be the case. But she's starting to realize, maybe he's right.
To marry, but they have to get to know you
What do you mean?
first.
How they all would love to marry? How can you say that?
Right.
Because they say it,
Right.
They say they want to marry you, or they want to be married.
they would marry me. That's my baby's daddy lost, is what they say.
I'm not talking about your baby daddy. You talk about these other two men. Say
I
it.
would marry. Why didn't he
Now-
marry
now-
you? That's his law.
Now she's trying to like conflate and trying to justify why she's not married instead of looking into herself, because I can see right now there's a lot of unresolved things going on here, but she's trying to put it on them, but it's not on them. They're not committing to you because of shit that you haven't taken care of, so you can't really put that on them.
Hold on, man. I listen really well. I'm not talking about your child's father. You said you have other men who
She
want to
said
marry you.
several. Now, several has now turned into a couple. Just keep that in mind.
Would love to, yes.
And how do you
Would
know
love
they
to. So why hasn't it happened?
want to marry you? What exactly
Probably because
She belongs to the streets.
have they said?
So I have one guy who says,
one guy. She said one, but what happened to the several that you just said a minute ago? Now it's one guy? Because she's making this up as she goes along because
She belongs to the streets.
it's clear.
I've been knowing you for a long time.
Look at how she's moving and swaying her eyes. She's literally thinking of shit to tell him. Basically, some effery to just say. The buffoonery is at an all-time high right now.
take our time. One day you will be my wife.
She's literally making this up as she goes along. Oh my god, do you see how she looks away? She is literally making this up as she goes along. She probably saw a movie and just thought this up. Look at Kevin's face. He's like, yeah, okay. Like, look at this nonsense. Let's go back a little. Look at this.
Take our time. One day
Look at
you
this.
will be my wife.
Look at her blinking,
But we
looking
have to
away.
take our time.
Thinking of something to say.
How long have you
That
known
doesn't
this
even
man?
sound like something a man would say. Like, at all.
12 years?
12. She said 12 years? I need to hear that again. Wait, what? Hold up, wait. Pull the e-brake. Let's hear that again.
How long have you known this man?
12 years?
12 years? Alright, so yeah, he don't want to marry you.
That's called game.
Yeah, that's all that is. He can keep you around for 12 years and keep hitting that, and you think something's coming that ain't. Yeah, he's got you wrapped around his finger.
Game it is.
So
I mean,
like he's playing you, and you know it, and you're sticking around because women love lies. They like to be lied to, and that's a proof right there. This man has been lying to you for 12 years, and you're chewing it up, like straight up.
God damn, ma'am. You known him for 12 years. Have y'all been intimate?
Of course. BS. Look at this. Look at this.
God damn, ma'am. You known him for 12 years. Have y'all been intimate?
No.
Yeah, she looks away, rolls her eyes. No, like, come on, you ain't convincing me that at all.
He don't want you.
Right. See,
Man,
now she's gonna backpedal and she's looking around like, oh wait, no, like, cause she thought that was gonna be better. It would have been better if you said that you did sleep with him, but now that you're saying no, now she's gonna backpedal and she's probably gonna say that she did. Now let's see.
12 years. How much? I mean, just take it away from you. Does that even sound reasonable?
No.
We need to take our time. How much time you need?
Right.
Okay, it sounds reasonable when you're young
What?
and I'm like, I'm an adult.
No. You're the one that's confused. I'm
Yeah.
trying to help you. When did people take 12 years to get to know each other 75, 80 years ago?
Okay,
Never.
so let's
That didn't
slow
happen.
down, right?
Let's slow down what?
Let's slow down because when he says, I want you to still live your life, I feel like it's selfish of me
Oh
to
my
try
God.
to take that away from you. You're in college, you're young, I'm an older male. I don't want to take your youth away from you. That's selfish.
Stop.
Is what it says.
Well, why are you even?
That's
with
very
this
selfish
man?
on my part. Now that I'm older, he's a little bit more aggressive with letting me know, hey, I want to be with you. You're the person that I want. But now it's like, I got all these other options.
Who got all these other options?
She don't got no options.
Me.
Yeah, okay. You have all these options that you're on the Kevin Samuels show asking why this man isn't marrying you. Does that make sense to anybody? The answer would be
Even after a baby.
Uh-huh.
I'll make you famous.
this is. A
I believe
complete-
you believe that, ma'am.
Yeah, because this is a straight up.
Don't sound like you. It sounds like all these good companies out here. And they let you take a tour of the plant. They let you take a tour of the office. You got an offer letter. You got a physical offer letter from any of these companies.
It's not funny.
Got the keys to the crib.
So
They-
what? That doesn't mean anything. He just wants to make sure you're there when he's home so he can, you know what, to you.
Answer was, do you have a physical offer letter?
No. The answer would be
Nope.
or
Oh, hell no.
because she clearly,
She belongs to the streets.
and we know that she.
That's why you would buy a dog. Die alone.
Engagement ring.
You're
No,
not.
she doesn't have one. Because look at this. Now he's pressing her. Look at the masculinity comes out of her. Look at how masculine she gets. Shoulders up, head up high, like a man. Put your dick up, like he says.
You ain't got shit.
Look at her. Look at her. She looks like
Except
a
game.
dude right now.
Okay, your opinion.
It's not his opinion. That's the truth. That's literally what it is. You just don't want to hear it, and then you hear the uncomfortable laugh come out when you know the truth and reality hits you. So that's all that is.
Yep.
Young lady at the bottom, do you have a different opinion? That's why you smiling, because apparently she's not hearing me. Maybe she'll hear you. What do you think?
I don't really want to say much. But
Because
it's a
she
lot.
knows that this woman is delusional and she is on that girl power stuff. She doesn't want to bring her down, but she knows.
She don't want to say much because she don't want to hurt your feelings. But
Right.
every time I make a point, she's smiling.
Right.
You're the only one that's not seeming to pick it up, man. Man,
If-
12 years. A man has known me for 12 years, and you got the baby. He ain't had sex with you, whatever.
Right.
And then you got all these other men. Well, if that's the case, ma'am,
Why are you here?
if that's the case, you should never have to settle for anything. Matter of fact, you got a baby daddy that want to marry you. You got this guy and that guy.
Right. If you have all these guys, why are you on this show asking for help?
Yep.
Asking which men should you have or choose? Like, it makes no sense.
Yep.
Down in Australia with dingoes and cherubies, but it sounds to me like you full of shit.
She is, and now she's laughing. It all comes out. She doesn't have a damn man to her name. Not a single one, but a baby in her arm. That's it.
So, like to me, you live
This
in
is a joke to her. Look at her. This is a joke to her. She's 27. She's hitting the danger zone. You're a single mother, no prospects, no healing, no wife skills, no soft skills, not feminine. You're not nice, not approachable. There's just all these things that I've gotten in this 18 minutes. And all she can do is laugh. We'll see in 10 years from now if she's going to be laughing. 10, 20 years from now when she's still alone and we're still in this recession and gas is $12 a gallon and you have no man. We're going to see if this is all a joke.
fantasy world to where you're the star of your own show. And the
See?
sad part is, when this movie is over,
Uh-huh.
there ain't gonna be no sequel.
And that's what I said. She is screwed. She just doesn't know it or see it yet. Black women like this, they don't understand the future is going to be grim because they don't look past Friday. Like I said, you need 2.4 million to be able to survive by retirement. 2.5 million cash. That's it. Like, if you don't have that, you're gonna be on the streets. The streets is waiting for
She
a lot of
belongs
these.
to the streets.
A lot of these women have the streets waiting for them in their elder years, and they just don't realize it. And this man was trying to stop this. He doesn't want to see a bunch of old black women homeless on the streets, but that's what it's gonna be if these women don't get this crap together, man. And it's a shame. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.